Hey, welcome back to Happy Little Notaries. Today we're going to talk about DRTs and CSTs and what they are. This might be an update of an older video, but DRTs kind of are a hot topic in the colorist world. You might have seen Cullen Kelly's recent presentation on Genesis, which is a DRT. But yeah, just going to briefly talk about that. But what a DRT is the question of how do we get from this node right here, that's all by itself, out to this node, which is what takes it to our display. So if we go like this, you see what we have going on is, a color space transform going from our camera space, Blackmagic design, to Davinci Wide Gamut linear, or if you're working in intermediate, it would be here, intermediate. And that is not ready for display. So what do we do? Normally, in a color managed system, you would say this and this. Oops. You just go, let's turn this back on right here. Not serial. There we go. Copy, paste, and you would just flip this, swap this, and then change this output to, say, Rec 709, Gamma 24. And now we have an image that looks somewhat good. And so this is just using a color space transform, prepping it for an output color space, which is what this monitor is calibrated for, of Rec 709 Gamma 24. And we don't have any tone mapping done. You can do tone mapping and it will change your image, because what it's doing, and we can bring up a node here to kind of show that, is bring up a chips pattern. Yeah, that's in here somewhere with all these tools. Diagnostics down here. RGB, oops, wrong one. RGB chips. We'll just pass this through up to here, and you'll see a complete change. And so this is equal log, and we'll just shut this to. Let's just bring it down to 6 hues. Let's simplify our life a little bit. We have 6 hues that we really worry about. And so what's happening is this is what we're feeding out, is this node here, our RGB chips. And this is going, we can change this node label to Rec 709 and 24. And that is what it is doing and how it's shaping our image. And you can look at that on our vector scope and see, oh wow, it is doing a hot thing there with what it's making, and that's cool. That's really cool, and it does what it is doing. The other thing that we can do is go, well, what do these tone mapping things do? A lot of that is just shaping how things look in the image. So you can see some small tweaks happening where it is. But once it gets to a certain point of brightness, it just kind of goes, well, it's that full color. And have a good day. And that is your rendered image going out to display. So is that great? Is that perfect? It's not smooth. Let's put it that way. One of the big options that exist is that people have been talking about is OpenDRT. This was made by Jed Smith. There is a DCTL version. It's free. There's links in the description. I made a version that is from an OFX port of it. So there's a way to get that for free. It really only works on Apple. That's a long story. But you can see if we just add a node here and just add a layer mixer, we can do some quick comparisons of these two, because we're just feeding the same thing. So right now we have OpenDRT up, and it's just it's taking intermediate and putting out Rec 709, just like the CST, but it does a lot of other things in terms of how it shapes the look. But if we just turn this on and off, you look at scopes and everything like that, there isn't much change. But the big change is in terms of how it processes. You can see here, it does something different. So this is the CST, and this is our OpenDRT. It's a much more filmic-like rendering of our image. And DRTs are really cool. They're really powerful because everything you do is going through this funnel out to your display, and everything you do under it, whether it's shot balancing or sweetness or building a broader look. So say if you were to pop in contour and start working, we're looking at this image. I know it is just lines right now, but if we turn that off, we're looking at this image and all the things that we're doing with making our shapes. You can see how contour is affecting when we just, flick up the contrast a little bit and kind of pull that up. But if we were to pipe that into our Rec 709, it's going to look way different in terms of what's going on without those colors. And you can see that's going to be different either way in terms of how the brights are processed and everything like that. So they are different, each in their own way. And people will say that Rec 709 from the CST here by Davinci Resolve, it's crude. Its tone mapping is a little crude. It's not smooth, it's not pretty. You end up risking Chalky highlights. And that's where something like OpenDRT is really nice and cool and fun and flexible. But, I'm crazy, I'm fancy. I actually have another one that I've been working on. There's also JP2499. There's links in the description for all of these. This is another DRT that I've been working on. After I made the OpenDRT port and understood how OFX work, I started bringing over some ideas and stuff I had, and I actually made my own DRT that is a functional Technicolor DRT. It is doing a thing that nothing else is doing when it comes to forming your image for display. And you can see right here, it looks good coming out of the box, but we got to switch a couple things. So we're sending it, we can see we're sending Davinci White Intermediate, and we're sending it right here. We're not doing linear, we're picking up intermediate. So it does the line straight. These are interesting settings. They don't make much sense to me, honestly. These ones I realize don't work. They're not work as intended, because there is something magical going on in here, because this is thinking about constructing our image from the photochemical perspective of if we apply dye to a black and white matrix print and then press that onto a film emulation and then press those four emulations together, cyan, magenta, and yellow, and then pass the projector light through it, what do we get? And magically, in and of itself, it actually does a lot of that tone scaling on its own. It's really weird. It also does like halation. There's some weird things and art of things that as I've been working with this, it's fascinating. But normally, so its settings compared to OpenDRT, this is straight out of the box. It's not fancy, because what you're doing is just making these cyan, magenta plates, just like you would if you were physically making Technicolor. And so this first section of tools is to really tweak and fiddle with how your black and white plates are developed. So these are like these first three are like push-pull sliders. In terms of like push-pull processing to like how exposed or underexposed the film stock is. And so this is a theoretical, your dynamic range. Anyways, enough of this. This is just straight out of the box, but it is so fun because you can pick different dyes and you can go custom colors. I mean, I'll have to say, you can watch another video. I'm going to do a whole deep dive on this tool. The sad thing is, I don't know how to make it available to people that would make it be a functional tool for people. I made it for myself. It does its thing. I'm super excited about it. I hope you follow along with watching it, and maybe somebody that knows how to license in OFX will reach out to me and offer me a deal. Until then, it really just works on my computer because I don't have time to make it work on a Windows computer or license it and do all those things. So I'm going to do a deep dive video on that next. Have a good day. Anyways, oh yeah, by the way, before we jump to that, DRT, very important, very strong, powerful, big Luke development tool. This is how we're getting our image to display. That's what a DRT is, CST is, and that's what we're concerned about, making sure that what is rendered is true to what we want to see. Anyways, until next time, have a good day.